Visitors from San Antonio. The Spurs were led by a bench player tonight.
Bill Schoening right now, post-game. Spurs lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves 115-90. This is Spurs React. I'm Chris Duel with Michael Bartlett. Let's listen in on Bill Schoening.
6 of 7 from the line, 12 points for Keldon Johnson. 9 points for Doug McDermott. He was 4 of 9 from the floor. 7 points for DeJounte Murray. He was just 2 of 12 from the field. He missed all 4 of his three-pointers. He did add, as usual, 8 rebounds. He did have 4 assists in this ballgame, but only 7 points for DeJounte Murray, 12 below his season average. Drew Eubanks did get the start, even though Jakob Poeltl was available. Poeltl came off the bench this evening. 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists for Drew Eubanks, who was 4 of 6 from the field. Derek White was just 1 of 4 tonight. He had 4 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. Off the bench, Lonnie Walker had 12, along with Devin Vassell's 18. Lonnie started out fast, but then he finished 5 of 17 from the floor, just 1 of 10 from three-point range. 2 points for Jakob Poeltl in 15 minutes. He also added 2 rebounds, a block, and an assist. 8 points for Bryn Forbes in 20 minutes. He was 3 of 6 from the field. He did not have a three-pointer. He was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. 8 points for Trey Jones. He was 4 of 6 from the floor, coming back to his hometown of Minneapolis. 3 rebounds and 3 assists.
Hello, Louisa. Yeah.
Played 10 minutes.
Tough loss.
And 4 rebounds. For Minnesota, as we mentioned,
Eric Winchester. There is that.
5 points and 12 boards. Among their other starters, 22 for D'Angelo Russell, although he was just 6 of 19 from the field. 13 points for Anthony Edwards. Jared Vanderbilt on 6. 8 for Patrick Beverly. Off the bench, 15 for Beasley. 13 for
Louisa, so did I. I thought this was a game they could have and should have won. Jason Salinas, welcome.
McLaughlin, Noel, and Knight all played but did not score. The final score, 115-90. Minnesota with the victory over San Antonio. The Spurs record drops to 4-11. Minnesota improves to 6-9. We'll have more when Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
Frank Ramirez, welcome in. I'm going to grab some more ice for post game. I've got some iced tea, some pure leaf tea, but I need ice. I'll be back in a sec. Leland Bruce, welcome in.
Rise up the leaderboard and score real life prizes all from your phone. To download for free on iOS and Android, head to your app store or visit spurs.com/app. Season presented by HEB. Becky Hammond on being the first woman to coach in the NBA.
What if it's no big deal that I'm a woman? What if it's about striving for excellence and being the best me without the label?
It's not about where others say you should be. It's about where you want to go. It's about a financial services company that focuses on your measures of success. Whether it's for your home or business, we offer personalized service and expert advice to help you.
Can you do this? He's done.
Financial services.
Other button.
Without the label.
He's completely done?
Yeah, he's done.
Okay. So I'm doing 2 here.
Yes.
On every smartphone. Why?
All right.
You deserve it for turning your room into your office and your gym.
Processing your.
For teaching grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the coach, but just do your normal thing.
Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers.
So is he sticking around for the coach?
Well, he still has to give me the insider because he hasn't even started on it yet.
From the Spurs Net Center, I'm Chris Duel. Final score tonight from the Target Center in Minneapolis. The Minnesota Timberwolves defeat the San Antonio Spurs 115-90. Programming note on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI, and streaming live video on 1200 WOAI's Facebook page and Twitter page. Our Spurs React coming up with Michael Bartlett and myself. You can react with us to this game tonight between the Spurs and the Timberwolves. 5 other games in the NBA tonight. A final from Memphis. Grizzlies beat the Clippers 120-108. Other finals, the Golden State Warriors came from behind at a big fourth quarter. They beat the Cavaliers 104-89. It was the Heat over the Wizards 112-97. Games in progress. Midway third quarter, Jazz over the Raptors 73-70. Early third quarter, Sixers over the Nuggets 66-57. Once again, React coming after our post game here on the Spurs Radio Network. More coming up as well with Bill Schoening at the AT&T Center. Final score tonight from the Target Center in Minneapolis. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat the San Antonio Spurs 115-90. Spurs Radio continues in a moment. All right, Brian Zuniga, welcome in. Frank Harada, welcome, says play primo. John Hunsnerscher says go Spurs go. That's right, baby. We're still hanging in there. We're going to be all right. It's a rough patch. Vamos Spurs, vamos. Vamos Spurs. Vamos los Spurs. That's what I'm talking about. Patrick Burns, how are you? Yeah, this is a tough one tonight. And the next few games are also tough. Buddy Carrello, hello, buddy. How you doing tonight? Phoenix next. Shannon Sweeney brought up.
Let's go ahead and knock out the ID here. I know it's a little early, but that way
Okay.
We don't have to worry about it later.
Will do. Louisa likes my shirt. Thank you, Louisa. At least I got the shirt going on. But yeah, the next 4 games for the Spurs. Pull this. Let's see. Suns, Hawks. That's at the AT&T Center. Celtics, Washington Wizards. They lost tonight, but they were atop the East. Then Trailblazers. Blazers are struggling right now, but then the Warriors. Then the Suns. Then the Knicks. Then the Nuggets and Nuggets. Really tough stretch. Jason Paniagua says tough stretch. Jason, the next several games. Yeah, this Spurs team needs to get it going now. So, Mariana Garcia says the struggle is real. That's well put. Here we go. I'm back on the radio for a sec. From the Spurs Net Center, I'm Chris Duel. Final score tonight from the Target Center in Minneapolis. The Minnesota Timberwolves defeat the San Antonio Spurs 115-90. Before we proceed, right now, let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves along the Spurs radio network.
News Radio 1200 WOAI, San Antonio's breaking news, traffic, and weather.
Let us update you on the scores in progress. We ran through the NBA scoreboard a few moments ago, but 2 games in progress out west at Salt Lake City, 5:33 to go in the third quarter there. Utah Jazz lead the Toronto Raptors 79-72. And in Denver, midway third quarter, Philadelphia 76ers over the Denver Nuggets 70-61. Once again, program note on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI, and streaming live video on 1200 WOAI's Facebook page and Twitter page. Our Spurs React is coming right up. You can join Michael Bartlett and me and react on tonight's tough loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. That'll be after a quick wrap-up from Bill Schoening, where he broadcasts remotely from the AT&T Center. And once again, the final score, Minnesota Timberwolves 115, Spurs 90. Spurs Radio continues in a moment. Walter Pasacreta, the great Walter Pasacreta. Walter Pasacreta, perennial winner of the Walter Pasacreta Award in media. Fonzie J. Rodriguez says, stop being okay with losing, Spurs fans. Fonzie, you know I love you, man. But as you know, and you're a Laker fan, every team, every dynasty, Laker dynasty, Celtic dynasty, Chicago Bulls dynasty, there's ebb and flow. This is the Spurs have chosen, and rightfully so, to go with a youth movement and there's some growing pains. So I'm not okay with losing, but I see the big picture. And as always,
What are you thinking as far as time to hit? So I can.
if you're back in a 7, so 37, 38.
Okay. Well, we're not going to get in until maybe like 32 or 33. What's in your
Yeah, in that case, 40 or 39 or 40.
40 would probably work.
All right.
40 would probably work better just so I can time stuff out better.
All right, let's go 40, but let's hit it. So if you go, keep an eye on the clock. Don't go long.
Yeah.
All right.
Sam Walters, our statistician, Walter Stoops. Next game for the Spurs coming up Monday night against Phoenix. That's a home game, 7:30 tip. We will be on the air at 7 o'clock with Spurs Radio Game Night. As always, for all things Spurs, follow us on Twitter, Spurs.com, or the Spurs app. And now for our studio producer, Mike Bartlett, and our studio host, Chris Duel, this is Bill Sheldon. Thank you for joining us this evening. Again, the final score from the Target Center in Minneapolis, the Timberwolves over the Spurs, 115-90. This has been a presentation of Spurs Sports and Entertainment and the National Basketball Association. All rights reserved. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, what
Radio Game Night.
Walter saying Frank Wilson, former UTSA coach, hated Wally being behind him. Yeah, we always had fun because every time you turn on the TV and you'd see a big sports interview with Pop or with Tony Parker or Frank Wilson, there was Walter Pasacreta. So, we started saying the Walter Pasacreta Award would go to the media member who was like most prominent in the television screen during a sports interview. So I never knew that about Frank Wilson. And how'd that work out for Frank Wilson? So Sergio Lozano says it's a rebuilding year. No one was expecting to win a championship this year. Well, Frank Wilson made me move. Amazing. It's like, Frank, the media does their job. You do yours. Hold on. What? One more time?
I can just start off right away.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be here for a little bit anyways. So.
All right.
So I
Wait.
can just start off right away.
Yeah, just don't go as long as you went last time.
I'll go two or three.
Okay, sounds good. Here we go. We're going to hear from Michael Bartlett. Don't go all Texas Tech here. From the Spurs Net Center, I'm Chris Duel. This is Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. We are also streaming live video on 1200 WOAI's Facebook page and Twitter page and across multiple social media platforms. In fact, I see the great Walter Pasacreta, longtime media god in San Antonio, who has covered the Spurs for many, many years, joining us on Facebook Live. I see Sergio Lozano in there, Jason Paniagua, Christopher Silva, Jerome Sosa, just some of the names that I see right now who have recently commented. A lot of people in there. Luisa Alanis joining us, among others. Tough loss tonight for the San Antonio Spurs, 115-90 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is loss number 4 in a row for the Spurs, which is tough. Spurs fall to 4-11, and a lot of Spurs fans having a hard time with the youth movement and some of the growing pains the Spurs are having. So we'll talk about tonight's game. We'll talk about where the Spurs are now and what's next for the Spurs, which is Monday night at home at the AT&T Center. They open up a homestand. Up first will be the Phoenix Suns. But let's bring on board right now the man who makes the entire broadcast go from beginning to end, wearing his Texas Longhorns baseball cap tonight. If you see him on the live video feed, Michael Bartlett, 4 in a row now. The Spurs have lost, and this was a team. Minnesota came in at 5-9. Spurs came in at 4-10. I had high hopes of a Spurs victory tonight, and this one was not close throughout much of the night.
Yeah. It may be early, but it's a little bit time to possibly panic. What a bad game. Bad game all around. It's a game that it just makes you scratch your head as a basketball, person who appreciates the game. Minnesota, 21 of 49 from 3-point range. Literally over half of their shots that they took were 3-pointers, and they made over half their shots of their total shots as well. You can't go 6 of 32, Chris, and the team you're playing go 21 of 49. Let's see, my East Central math, 14, 15. That's 45-point difference from 3-point range. A 45-point difference. Not to mention a very rare so far this season off night from DeJounte Murray, 2 of 12, 7 points, and I hate to say it, but a kind of a bad game from Derek White after the other night having a good bounce back game. Devin Vassell doing what Devin Vassell does. Lonnie looked like he was going to ball out tonight. 5 of 17 from the field, 12 points, kind of sputtered out. It was just, this team does not have any chance or any room for mistakes. If somebody is not playing well, it's bad, because they do not have currently right now a person on this team that can make up that difference. We don't have a DeMar DeRozan to lean on that can easily drop 30 for us. We don't have as much as people didn't like him, a LaMarcus Aldridge to drop 30 for us or drop 25 when somebody else was lacking. We don't have, a Tim, Tony. We don't have those particular type of players that can pick up the slack when somebody else or a couple of other players are kind of, just not performing that particular night. And that's what it was. They have no room for error. Everybody has to be firing on cylinders every single game. And you're seeing what happens when they are not. And just, you cannot go 6 of 32. You can't go 6 of 32. I know it's a dumb thing to say, but stop shooting threes. Just stop shooting threes. You don't need to jack up 32 threes. I know this is the new NBA, but when you are not making 3-pointers, don't take threes anymore. Unless you're wide open, don't take threes. You don't need to play hero ball. You don't need to jack up 30-foot threes like Steph Curry does. To do a ball fake and step in a couple of feet, take a jumper. Take a mid-range jumper. This team shoots well. They just do not shoot well from 3. And that's what this was tonight. We shot poorly. Minnesota shot great, all in all. They have to get consistent every single night. And you and I have harped on this a couple of years. That's the one thing this team has not been. They have not been consistent. So scratch it up. You got the Suns coming in on Monday. That's going to be a run and gun. Hopefully they can get back on track. It was good to see Jakob back, from health and safety protocols. A couple more minutes and, getting his conditioning in will definitely help. But all in all, it's just an ugly night. Throw away the tape and burn it.
Yeah. And you got to wonder how Coach Greg Popovich will react with this young Spurs team. It was a tough loss. This was a team that ideally, and as Michael mentions, Jakob Poeltl was back in the lineup after missing several games. He was much needed. Hopefully, the Spurs will perform better on Monday night against the Phoenix Suns. But for the moment, the Spurs have to just kind of, pick up the pieces and find a way to play better throughout much of the first number of games. Tonight's game was lopsided. Final score, Minnesota Timberwolves 115, Spurs 90. In a lot of these games, the Spurs have been right there at the end and just couldn't find a way to close. Here tonight, this was just lopsided. It got off to a horrible start. It was 13-0 from the get-go, and you blinked and it was 22-3 midway first quarter. So the Spurs had to dig themselves out of a hole from the get-go, and they lose this one tonight, 115-90. Up next for the Spurs, the Phoenix Suns, Monday night at the AT&T Center. A big thanks to Bill Schoening, the voice of the San Antonio Spurs, for his great broadcast and his great work as always. On-site engineer Sam Walters, veteran statistician Walter Stoops, always doing a great job for Spurs Radio. For those gentlemen and for Michael Bartlett, we will see you again on Monday. Spurs Radio game night, pregame Monday night will be at 7. I'll be talking a lot of Spurs with you in the morning on Ticket 760 on my show, 6 o'clock, 6 to 9 tomorrow morning. For all of those gentlemen, I'm Chris Duel. Once again, the final score, the Minnesota Timberwolves 115, the San Antonio Spurs 90. This has been Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI.
Places to go, people to see.
All right, Leland Bruce, Gilbert Martinez, Christian Picardo, thanks for checking in. Walter Passacrita, Luisa Alanis. I can't see all the names right now the way this is set up, but I see there are 19 of you in here. Thanks for being here. We'll talk Spurs. We'll talk Cowboys, Longhorns, UTSA, all things sports, weekend sports picks tomorrow, college and pro, 6 to 9 a.m. on Ticket 760. We will see you later.